it's hard for a lot of people to understand, but you know, coming from a Heisman winner, he just knows how to do things right, and he expects it done a certain way, and that's harder for some people than for other people. And it was one of those things to where, like you said, whether you played or whether you were second, third, fourth, scout team, whatever it was a bond that, you know, we knew that when we went into that film room and when we met with him, it was not us versus him, but he was going to, you know, critique us to a point where we might leave there saying, what am I doing here? So it was just a bond to where we built each other up. We knew that, you know, we were trying to be perfect in an imperfect world, and, you know, we could only do so much. And there was obviously times I think all of us pushed back on it. And that's one of the things I respect about Garcia is the point where it didn't really faze him. You know, he just did his own thing, and that really bothered Spurrier for sure. But that's a whole different story. But it was definitely a fraternity thing to where, you know, we spent hours every day in the film room and on the field, just doing our thing and just trying to get it right. And he's very particular. And it's one of those things now when I look back, I think as an 18-year-old, it's, you know, you want to butt heads with everybody, you know, at that age. But, you know, you look back and you're like, you know, he has a right to demand that because he's done it well. He's obviously won a lot of games. He's won the Heisman. He's, you know, played in the league. He's done all these things to where it's like, you better let your ego get out of the way and just listen to what he's telling you, because he knows what the hell he's doing. You know, there's no doubt about that.
Did he ever lay into you in the film room or on the practice field, anything that stands out? Because I've heard from not just quarterbacks, receivers, he was hell with the clicker, and he would make you feel about that big if you messed up.
For sure. And it's one of those things. It was a lot easier to handle in the small group film where it was just us and the quarterbacks, you know, but we would go into the whole offense film, and, you know, he's very particular. There was days where we would come in and think that we had a good scrimmage or had a good practice the day before, and by the time we left the film room, it was like, man, we better get back on the grind, you know, because it's not what he's looking for. And that, you know, that's understandable. But I think it's I don't have any particular stories, but there was probably 100 instances where it was just like very humbling to just bite your tongue and be like, yes, sir, you're right. This is the way it needs to be done. And there's stories that I could tell, and I would love to get into it, but it's hard to, you know, you come in I graduated high school early and came in, and I was a baby in a man's world. You know, I came in and I remember in my freshman year, my redshirt year, running the scout team. And it was like, I wrote this down yesterday just because I knew we were getting together, and I was trying to think of, you know, you were talking about the goon squad and the players that you had, but it was like, I remember two particular times. One running the scout team and looking across at Jasper Brinkley, a middle linebacker, staring at me. And I mean, I'm a baby at this point.
That's a mean son of a bitch to go against.
Jeez, sure. He's like a brick wall, you know. But then you have across the front, you have Cliff Gathers, Melvin Ingram, Travian Robertson, Eric Norwood, the Brinkley brothers. You got Catherine Munderland in the corner. You got Stefan, who he came in with us, but was an old soul already and was ready to step in and play. You know, you got E. Cook, Chris Culliver, these players, to where it's just like, I remember running the scout team and looking across and being like, what am I doing here? You know? And then another instance was running inside drill where it's all inside the tackle, you know, just hammering. And I've never heard so much shit talk in my life. And just, you know, I just remember being like, please don't call a quarterback draw. Please don't call a quarterback draw. And you look at these guys, and I never heard noise like that. Like when you're running inside drill and they start hammering down there in the front lines, it was like gunshots going off. And I was just like, it was a humbling thing to where it's just like, you know, you better find your place and figure out how to navigate it. Because I just remember looking across and being like, this might be the best defense we see all year. And, you know, it was, you know, we had some studs across the line that year for sure, and the years to come. So it's humbling though, you know.